Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Great Reset. My name is Robert Brill, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of BrillMedia.co. Today we're talking about testing frameworks, and testing frameworks are a big part of the type of marketing work that we do. We've been characterized as performance marketers, and performance marketing is what it sounds like. It's about getting sales and leads that are necessary to help a business build and grow and have measurable, actionable, business-driving results. And so when we talk about performance marketing, a lot of what we do is developing a testing framework that is particularly relevant for our clients. What we really want to think about is creating a sort of a template to start with that you can riff off of, as it were. So today I'm going to talk about a few things you could be doing in your advertising and marketing to have a strong testing framework in place. So the first sort of component of that testing framework is really fundamentally identifying who your customer is and what their interests are. From there, breaking down your key customer archetypes into subsets. So you have anywhere between 3 and 6 different types of audiences who you want to reach. They can all fit as a singular group in a common idea, but you want to break down audiences. So for example, I was talking to someone recently and we're talking about teachers of primary school, teachers of middle school, and teachers of high school as an audience. So those are 3 different audiences. And secondly, or the second sort of set would be parents of elementary school children, parents of middle school children, and parents of high school children. So those are now 6 different audiences who you can serve ads to and make a determination about which audience is actually the best performer for your campaign. So that's an example of breaking out your audience so that you can create a testing framework. The next component of a testing framework would be platform. So many advertisers, especially independent advertisers, are doing really well advertising on Facebook and Instagram. So if you just look at Facebook and Instagram, you have access to Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and Instant Articles. And so those would be individual platforms you might want to look at. Which of those 4 placements do people generate more sales or drive more leads from? So I would want to know that as far as your testing framework. From there further, I'd want to know which types of placements are particularly relevant for you. So like inside Facebook, for example, you have Facebook stories, you have Facebook news feed. So you look at placement. Then you look at other components such as geography. Is there any identifying factor that tells you that your ads do better in one geography better than another geography? Another component would be device. Do people drive more sales or leads from mobile or desktop? I would also be looking at setting up creative. Creative, that's a big one. That's a big one that we focus on because our belief is that creative is a big driver of success. You run the right creative, you're going to do really well. You run the wrong creative, it's going to fail miserably. So I think that it's a big driver of success. So when we think about creative on Facebook, we think about images, we think about copy, so like the headline, we think about the text, and we think about the calls to action, and then finally sometimes we use the description. Those are all components of targeting that we can deploy and identify, especially through dynamic creative ads, which creative, which call to action, which headline does really well for the campaign. And it's pretty straightforward. All you do is run dynamic creative ads. You run them for a week. You identify where you get the most leads or sales from. So for example, for our lead generation guide, we know that through a series of trial and error, you're going to get the most leads generated when you use the word download as a call to action rather than learn more or something else. Now, Facebook is just one platform. The collection of the Facebook ecosystem is just one platform. There's many other platforms. There's the Google Ads platform. There is the programmatic ecosystem. There are all the variety of social platforms, including TikTok and Snapchat. But the fundamental nature of what we're talking about, this testing framework, really applies everywhere. So for example, when we run banner ads or native ads or online video ads, we're looking for the device, mobile or desktop or tablet. We're looking for the placement, so like which site performs really well or which app performs really well. And we're looking for outsized performance indicators. Then I would also be looking at a variety of other factors, platforms. Like for example, LinkedIn, you can run in-mail ads and you can run in-feed ads. So which one of those perform very well? But fundamentally, the framework is there. Identifying key variables, looking at which one performs the best, and then continuously iterating on your campaign so you know it's a you have a strong campaign. I think the value of an agency, and especially I think how we go to market, that testing framework is really about taking the accumulation of the learnings that we've had over the many years we've been in the business so that your campaign has the best chance of success. With so many things that go into a messaging process, such as the offer, like you can have the best creative, but you can have a bad offer, or the pricing, or the general product market fit. Like, are you saying something that a customer actually wants? Those elements we don't control. I cannot create the product for an advertiser, but what I can do is actually identify which offer is actually performing the best. So when you think about the testing framework, another component of that is, for example, testing 3 different offers. So right now we're running a campaign, and in one part of the campaign, we felt that we saw that campaign didn't perform. And after doing some analysis on it, we came to the conclusion that the reason the ad campaign overall isn't generating leads is because we think the challenge and the solution that we're offering, it's too broad. It's something that the customer, the ideal customer, doesn't realize that they actually need, or they already have a solution for that. So you've kind of missed the mark. So our refinement of the campaign then ends up being, let's test a total of 3 offers, the one that already existed, plus 2 other offers. Let's revamp the messaging and then take a look at really if we can find a discernible difference in performance between a very broad offer, which in the past hasn't worked, and 2 much narrower offers. So what we're fundamentally doing is saying, look, we think these 3 or 10 different things, whether it's images or placements or platforms or offers, we think these things are going to be the ones that perform the best, but I'm not going to identify the one that's going to perform the best. This is not a Babe Ruth moment. I'm not saying that's the one that's going to perform the best. I want the audience to decide. And in another example of this, we developed some creative for a toy brand, and I actually like the animated ads that we created the best because they were animated. But what the data shows us is that the static ads actually perform a lot better than the animated ads. So I'm fine with it. I have no ego in it. I'm fine being wrong. Now we know that we need to create a lot more of those static ads, and we think they perform the best because it shows the product clearly. There's not much moving, which I think is good in this case. And it actually catches the user's eye because they see the product in view the moment that the ad appears on the screen. So that's a type of insight and learning that any advertiser should be prepared for. The challenge is I think a lot of agencies don't prepare for that. And if you're an agency, I encourage you to develop testing frameworks so that you and your clients have the opportunity to identify what works and what doesn't. So you don't make one bet, I want to place 10, 20, or 100 different bets and let the data tell me what we should be doing more of and what we should be doing less of. So that's it for this episode of The Great Reset. Download below, we have your lead generation guide, which is a comprehensive guide on how to create a valuable consumer-facing lead magnet. We also have the recession marketing guide, which is messaging points and ideas on how to really do really well during a recession. We appreciate you following and liking and subscribing on this channel. We value our subscribers. Thank you. I know some of you, and I appreciate you watching. We hope you find this valuable. Subscribe for more content so you can learn from what we've learned across the many years we've been doing advertising and marketing. We'll see you soon on another episode of The Great Reset.